Well, everyone, welcome to Season 5, Episode 8. This is our last meeting for 2024. And a lot of times we'll start with introductions, but I think we know everyone who's here. Christy, can you please go to the next slide?
Yes, we can do that.
So we're going to start with the Common Ground Community Garden presentation. That's by Chad. And then Dorothy, who just joined us, she'll be with us and to show us her garden. Then, of course, we have their favorite shimmy time, and then there'll be announcements. So with no further ado, let's go to that Common Ground Community Garden.
All right. Let's hope pictures are better this time. Welcome, everyone. So yes, as we know, the year is definitely coming to an end. Things are wrapping up. As you see in this one picture, though, we have a lot of kale still that we've had all year long. I'm a big kale fan, so I just clip as we go and then get more and more kale. And then on the other side, we have an incredible amount of lemon balm that is quite productive. And we have a lot of them. We try to use them as much as we can. I don't know, they're not that desired. People do make tea from it and people have made pesto from it. But if anyone needs lemon balm, please come by.
Are you still clipping that at this time of year? Is it still good to
Oh, yeah,
use?
because you see, it looks very still hasn't died back at all.
I have it. It never goes. I mean, it never dies. It reseeds like crazy. Once you have it, you have it.
Yeah, very. So we definitely could start a little lemon balm factory.
I have a bunch of patches of oregano around my yard, and I kind of think this time of year it's not so good to eat, but maybe I should just be
No. Those are perennials. Oregano's perennial.
Yeah.
Oregano, it's like a weed after a while. It just spreads out.
Yeah. I mean, some.
That's what my wife thinks.
No, but I mean, if you like oregano, I like oregano. So
I do too. You can't kill it. It's like the unkillable herb.
Then we have our little strawberry patch over here, and with some chives at the end of it. So that might even start producing again. It seems like everything's a little later this year. I don't know if I normally get the Jerusalem artichokes. They're not even ready yet. I don't know. I should look at the old past years of when they were done, but they just flowered like a week ago. And then again, you see our hoop house, which is of course taken over again by the tomatoes that I always plan on not letting take over, but then I just give up. And we had some eggplant, but there's an endless amount of cherry tomatoes in this hoop house. If you just walk in and pick cherry tomatoes.
The plants look huge.
And next we have this is our 3-bin compost system and the buckets. And I've been really able to, because again, we have less than Warwick. We do collect buckets just like they do in the Warwick Farmers Market. I probably get 6 or 7 a week, but somehow I'm able so far to handle just by turning, putting a lot of leaves in there, mixing it up, turning it. And I've really surprisingly been able to handle the amount of food scraps we're getting. Because I really, at first, I didn't think we were going to be able to handle more than 1 or 2 buckets a week. But we're definitely getting, 6, 7, 8 buckets a week. And as long as you put a lot of dead leaves in there and turn it over, it breaks down really quickly.
Are you going to continue to add to it over the winter?
Yeah. I'll check, people, but the thing is, I don't even know who we have people at the farmers market, but I don't even know who the people who leave here on because I just come and see the buckets full. So there seems to be a steady group of anonymous food dropper offers.
But you have a 3-bin system, so one of your bins should be the older stuff that's just sitting, right?
Yes,
and another is medium, and then
I really have a 4-bin system. One is we have one for leaves, and just in case I thought I might need it, we could turn it into it. But I've really been able to handle. Yeah, you see the bin that's closest to that bag, the one next to it. That's the older stuff that I'm going to probably spread. That's been in there for like 9, 10 months, and they just break down and shrinks. So even if it's full, a few months later, it shrinks down.
Mhm.
Then this other picture, as you could see them in both pictures, is our herb spiral. And we have chives, we have lavender, sage, bay leaf, thyme, uh, rosemary, the whole song. Then we have I just put two new ones in there. I forgot that I got from Midsummer Farms. But it's a spiral. You could really fit a lot of herbs in a very small area. Then salad bonnet. I don't even know what that is, but we have it. It grows very well.
It's neat. It tastes like cucumber, believe it or not.
Oh, there you go. I should try them more often.
Yeah.
But yeah, but as you see, almost like the compost pile, it kind of breaks down. It was bigger, a year or two ago. Now we probably have to add to it.
Mhm.
Then next picture you see some Swiss chard and nasturtium, which is growing very nicely still. It's growing better now because it was again I let tomatoes take over probably all the beds and cover up everything, but then I finally started pulling some tomatoes out. And the other picture is ground cherries that we have a lot of those growing as well. And those are, I don't know if any of you guys have ever tasted those. I like them. They're an acquired taste.
Mhm.
Then along this is this is a fence here. That's all grapes that we planted a year or two ago. And they grew this year. Very, very tasty.
What variety? What type?
I know, I'm bad. I should.
What color?
We have red and green. One red, one green, but they're very sweet.
They're a table grape then.
Yeah, but they have a big seed in them, but they're just incredibly sweet. But yeah, this is the first year we finally produced grapes. Then I think I'm supposed to probably cut this back. Like that's what I'm pretty bad at is knowing what to do with these perennials that are growing wildly. And you see under the grapes, we have artichoke, and this is cardoon that I have in the other picture. That kind of it grew a lot, and then it grew these beautiful little artichoke-y looking things, and now it's kind of kind of died back, and it's coming back again. And then they say after the frost that you will eat the shafts that they're supposedly they're like Italian, like I know some Italian people fry them or bread them. It's like a artichoke type thing. But I haven't tried it, but I know people that have tried it and liked it. And we had the workshop a week or two ago, and we gave away a lot of perennials. And we had a good turnout to that. Oh, I should have put a few pictures of that.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people turn out, and we gave away bee balm and false indigo, and a lot of black-eyed Susans, but really tall ones. Black-eyed Susans that are like 6 feet tall. So now we have a lot more room to put more perennial natives. Then that one, if you could see, that's okra I have growing close up. I've been picking the okra as we're going, which I'm like the only person who likes okra, so I'm the only one who takes it.
Oklahoma.
I was wondering, not a fan.
Yeah, everyone is very quick to tell me how much they dislike okra.
If you're from the South, you would like it.
Yeah, and the slimy flavor, sliminess of it, but
It's slimy, right?
yeah, I mean you can fry it up. It doesn't have to be slimy. There's ways to cook it that are not. But
I was in traveling to Mississippi, I had fried okra there that was really quite delicious. Any other time I've had it, it's been slimy, so we just don't know how to do it here.
Yeah, it's definitely no one's
what
fighting me for that.
Like, what do you mean slimy though? Like, it sounds gross. It's like,
Yeah, it is.
It is. It is. It's like clams and oysters, two other things I can't stand.
I guess if you don't cook it a lot, it is. I guess the inside is kind of slime is a good word
mushy?
for it, but that doesn't
Like
bother me for
mushy?
some reason. I don't know.
Is it mushy slime? It's like,
inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not selling it really good. Then here
No.
They're running down to steal all your okra now.
It's like you're not selling it good. It's like, there's no way.
No, but then the other picture we have, which is the never-ending calendula that we already picked up, and as you see, they're coming back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, usually they don't come back to next year. They're like, I think we're getting two things in the same year, which is unusual.
It got really dry and then it cooled off and it rained, and now all these things that should in August have decided I just got zucchinis to grow.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I have squash coming up.
Wow.
But we plant in front of in that area with the straw. We actually planted carrots, and they are coming up. But I don't know. It looks like the calendula might like choke them out.
Mm.
And I'm so bad. Like I never pulled like that potato thing I did that you could see in the background, that potato mound.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what to do. Like the leaves never died. Like so, but I guess this week I'm just gonna turn it over and see if there's any potatoes in there. Like I should have picked them probably weeks ago. But like I know they say you wait for the green leaves to turn brown, and then like the green leaves never turn brown. So that's why I just kept waiting. But at this point,
I heard you can pick them up to November. Like you can leave them in the ground up to November.
maybe, yeah. But it's funny, like they didn't do the normal cycle. So I'll see. It could be a mess when I turn it over. There could be nothing in there. It could be dead, or there could be a lot. So I am curious because that was the first year I tried doing that when I layered the straw and the compost layers of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then here we have, well, this is our pawpaw tree growing slowly. This is like the third year. And then the other picture is American ground nuts. And those I planted a few years ago. And as you see, they kind of take over. They're almost like Jerusalem artichoke. They spread underground tubers.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably a mistake to even put them in. I didn't know that at the time. So I don't know if I'm going to show a picture of the fence. They're all over the place there. So I'm going to probably do a workshop in a few weeks where we dig them up but I find them very tasty. And they're kind of like a nutty tuber. And they're Native American. They were a staple food.
Okay, so you like them, but you also like okra. So we're like a little bit hesitant here.
I'm going to do a American chestnut okra cooking class.
Yeah.
Then here's the Jerusalem artichokes we put in a pot. You can see they're finally flowering. Then over here we have a plum cherry tree that's also 3 years old. I don't know if you could see growing up all up the tree is the chestnut. I mean, it's the hazel.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's the groundnuts, sorry. So you can see they really took over this whole fencing area. So
They're no longer on the ground.
they're underground, but they vine up. So I thought
that invasive.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess, I did not realize that, at the time I didn't do enough research. So even if I dig them up this year, and even if I leave a few, they'll spread all over the place. So
yeah,
that wasn't a great spot for them.
Live and learn.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we have some asters, and we have another pawpaw that's growing much slower. A tiny little one is also the same. It's 3 years just like the other one, but it's growing much slower. And here's the sharing shelf that we put up. That has been very successful. If I put, whatever we harvest, I put out there, tomatoes and this bucket is strawberry starts. If I come back the next day, it's almost always gone. So,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but I was saying it is funny. Like our garden, since again, we are no membership and free, and now we're doing more sharing. We're very successful but sometimes I just don't see anybody. I'd rather have a day where, there's 10 of us all together.
Yeah.
But, like I just stopped by randomly the other day and there was 2 people there. It's just like people there all different times, which is nice. But, I would like to definitely establish more days of, having a larger group of people all come at once.
Chad, you don't have problems with squirrels?
Well, we are lucky in the back. Oh, I didn't take a picture in the back of our garden. We have a colony of feral cats that people take care of.
Wait, you have the cats.
Which seem to be very effective at keeping away all.
Yeah, because
I don't see any. I never see squirrels, chipmunks, anything.
I leave anything out after we harvest. If everything isn't taken, somebody has to take it home because the chipmunks and the squirrels, they come in, climb the fence and leave stuff all over the place.
And this is the front of our garden. As you could see also, you could see the groundnuts growing over there. Then you can see it right. As Sarah said, we have a squash that I probably planted, 4 months ago, finally coming up in front. Then you can see we have some leftover of the those really beautiful black eye Susans. You see how tall they are?
They're
Mhm.
beautiful.
And I don't know, that might be the last picture. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So it's a good, still got stuff coming up. Now
Right.
we're gonna see Dorothy. I'm sure she got a ton of stuff.
How
Chad,
you doing?
Any questions or comments, or are you good?
yeah, in the last slide, can you show it, Michael?
Christy's
There you
running
go.
the slides.
Yep.
Yes.
See this thing that's spilling over the edge of the box? What is that? Like a little like a little
Oh yeah. I don't.
supplement or something?
I should know it. Again, that Sonia's in charge of all the pretty stuff.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, that is growing well, and you can see there is a label there if we could zoom in, but I just
Yeah,
can't read
I'm
it.
zooming. I'm trying to
I
figure it out.
know. I'm trying to look close and I can't really make it
I know.
out.
I've taken plant ID courses in Brooklyn Botanic Garden. I just cannot remember the names of anything.
Mm.
Me there. I
And
can't.
we do have two of your beautiful pollinator signs on the fence, but
Oh, thank
I think
you.
yeah, I think you can see it under the. No, I think it's being covered by the ground nuts, but
Yeah.
we do have it.
Thank you, Chad.
All right, thank you.
Very nice. Dorothy, are you with us?
I'm with us.
Oh, good.
Okay. So I don't have a lot still growing in my garden. So I thought I would focus mostly about harvesting and food prep. But so I'll start off saying this is the front of the garden. And you can see I've already put fresh straw out. I've done some weeding, put some fresh straw. You can go to the next slide.
Mhm.
And on the left is from a view from the back of the garden. And again, I've started cleaning stuff up, and my currants have some fresh straw. Those are on the left side of the row towards the bottom. So, asparagus is out of control. Needs to be taken care of as soon as it starts dying back. But on the right side, I still have some chard growing, and I still have some eggplant coming, which is really surprising because it's getting so much cooler in the nights. But other than that, there's not a lot. So if you go to the next slide, please.
I just wanted to ask, in the slide on the left, what are the red berry looking things?
Those are berries on the asparagus plants.
Oh, I didn't know they got
Asparagus
berries.
ferns.
Mhm.
I was
Okay.
supposed to have gotten all male plants, but there are female plants with berries in there. So, and they do self-seed.
Okay.
Okay, I have currants. I have currants and gooseberries, and this is a picture of my currants. And is there another one?
There's a few in a row on this one.
Oh, okay. And so they usually are harvested around the end of June, along with the gooseberries are the end of June, and the mulberries are also around the end of June. And they're very tart. You can't eat them by themselves, but they make great jelly or great sauces. And I'll usually pick them, freeze the berries, and then process them in December, January, or February, make them into the jelly or the sauce. And there's some jelly from the Red Lake currants. So
Do they need a lot of sugar?
these need a fair amount of sugar. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
Do you mix them with anything else? Do you do currants with anything else or no?
If I don't have a big harvest, I'll mix some of my berries. But generally I try not to. But then again, there might be, half of the recipe I need for my juice or for my jelly, and then I might mix it.
Okay.
So this is the potatoes I grew this year. And the first time I ever tried French fingerlings, I planted 3 pounds of potatoes, and I harvested 13. And from what I was researching, I should have had a yield of about 30 pounds from 10 seed potatoes, 10 pounds of seed potatoes. But, you know, you live and learn. I think I harvested them too early because there were an awful lot of very small potatoes. And Chad, they didn't die back either. You know, they got a little yellow, but I didn't lose the leaves, and I really wanted them to be harvested so I can put in the next crop. So I just picked them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next slide. This is my mulberries. I have 2 dwarf mulberry trees. They're dwarf black mulberries, and they get harvested around the same time as the currants and the gooseberries. And I'll usually make a jelly or a jam. And here's cooking them down and making juice first. And sometimes I freeze the berries, and sometimes I freeze the juice. And then usually again, January, February, March, or December, I'll make the jellies or whatever I'm going to make, a sauce.
Okay.
And these were very tasty by themselves. So they actually don't need a lot of sugar.
Dorothy, I have a question about the mulberries. Could you take that juice and like mix it with like lemonade or something and make like mulberry lemonade drink?
I have not tried, but that sure sounds good.
Mm.
Because the juice is good by itself.
Oh, it is. Okay. It's sweet.
Mulberries. It's pretty sweet. Some years are sweeter than others. This year was kind of, my berry harvest didn't do so well. And actually, while I'm mentioning that, these slides are from 2020 to 2024. So there's a mix of slides, and I didn't grow everything in the same year that you see all these slides. So I didn't grow garlic this year, and I didn't grow onions or leeks this year. But my perennials I harvest every year. So this is a picture of my husband, Carl, and he's standing next to the wildwood elderberries. I have 2 wildwood elderberries, and we have 2 Bob Gordon elderberries. And about every 4 years, they get cut to the ground. And as you can see, there's massive amount of canes growing up on either side of the main bushes, which had to get cut down, or else I would have this uncontrollable amount of elderberries. But so what? Okay, the next slide is actually the Bob Gordons, which flowered really well this year and had a lot of berries. And if we could go to the next slide, the Bob Gordons, if you can see, the berries are kind of pulling the stems over. So the Bob Gordons are wonderful. They're a lot better to keep the birds away as opposed to the wildwoods. The wildwoods stand upright like most umbels, the flowers, and the berries stay upright. The berries are a little bit smaller, so they don't pull the stems over. And I've noticed with the wildwoods, the catbirds in particular can really decimate the plant before you get out there to get them harvested. And here's one of my harvests and cleaned up. They're pretty tedious to pluck those things off and clean them and make sure that I get most of the stems off. And then I'll freeze them. And again, sometime in December, January, February, I'll do the processing. And here is, I make an elderberry syrup. I make elderberry tincture and also elderberry jelly. So nice. Out of my harvest last year, I got, what do I have? I have 10 syrups, plus I have enough berries to make another 10 syrups. So last year's harvest will last me 2 years, basically.
Wow.
Because we'll use one of these jars a month. We take it medicinally.
Okay. And what's the benefit to that?
For your immune system.
Okay, I that's what I thought. Just wanted to be sure. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I love this one.
Oh, beautiful.
That's
This
my
is a great
garlic.
one.
I often plant anywhere from 90 to 120 garlic bulbs. Actually, I plant the cloves, which grow into garlic bulbs. And then I do something a little bit unconventional with them, is when they're harvested, I hang them up on a clothesline, and then I hit them with with water and clean them all off, and then let them sit out there for 24 hours and dry. And then I bring them inside to cure, and I'll let them cure for about 6 weeks inside. I started cleaning them off because I couldn't stand all the dirt. When it's recommended not to clean them, not to hit them with the hose. But then I have a small house, and I didn't want all this dirt in my house as they dried. So I've had these last as long as April. So it's working, And this is some onions, and they've been pulled out of the ground, and they're drying. And next slide. And there's the end result of the harvest. I have onions and hanging up, and garlic in bags, and there's also onions in the bottom bag.
Dorothy, I have a question. You because I've had trouble the last 2 years with drying my onions, and I did the same thing. It looks like you did on the left. I just pull them up when they start to fade out, and I let them sit on top of the mulch for a couple days.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because I was busy and I didn't get the timing, but they a lot of them start to rot, and I have to use them quickly, or they just succumb to rot. I haven't been able to really store them for the last 2 years that well. Before that, I was having no problems. I don't know if it's just, do you keep an eye on them very closely? And if it's going to rain,
I keep an eye on them, and I won't pull them if it's going to rain.
Okay, so you wait for a stretch.
I'm waiting for a stretch of dry.
Gotcha.
And then I'll let them sit there for 1 to 2 days. Then I bring them into the house and put them on a screen, and I have a fan blowing on them.
Oh, okay.
And that fan blows until they're dry.
Gotcha. Yeah. That sounds, I was a little lackadaisical, and I think it caused it to rot. Yeah. Yours look great.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Really.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Nice.
Okay. And then I usually grow a ton of heirloom tomatoes. This year I didn't. But I usually have several different varieties. And then this is actually, this was taken mid-September, this picture. And I'll bring them in, even if they're not green, stick them on the table and wait for them to ripen. And they do a pretty good job. They're not quite as good, of course, as the ones that are vine ripened, but they're, once you process them, I dry them. I'll make a bruschetta, which is the picture on the right. I've also made chutneys and dehydrated them. You can't tell. You really can't tell the difference when they're processed between the sun ripened tomatoes or the ones that are ripened inside.
So just the fresh, you would notice the difference?
Yeah, you notice a slight difference.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, cucumbers. Who doesn't have gaboons of cucumbers? So a lot of times I'll make a freezer pickle. And next slide.
What's a freezer pickle?
That's an Indiana recipe from my aunts out in Indiana. And so it's the cucumbers are sliced up, and there's equal amounts of, I think it's for every cup of sliced cucumber, there's a cup of sliced onion and it goes into a vinegar and sugar. And what else is there? There's turmeric, vinegar, sugar, celery seed, and they go in the freezer after they sit in the refrigerator for, let's see, overnight, 12 to 24 hours, and then they go in the freezer.
And what's the benefit of the freezer? How does
That
it
I don't
affect
have
them?
to, because I don't have to can them.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it did something to them, soften them more or something. I didn't know.
You freeze them in the glass jars?
Yes, freeze them in the glass with this. You have to freeze with straight sides. You can't do the glass jars that have the mouth that's smaller. So it
Right.
has to be straight sided, and you have to leave a little more space at the top. And then you can't crank down on the lids. You have to wait until they're frozen before you can crank down on the lids.
No, I have those little, they make those little plastic ones now for the freezer.
Yeah.
I use those for some things.
Yeah, I've done that too.
I didn't know you could use glass. Interesting.
And then the ones on the right are canned. That's my route. Excuse me, it's a pickle relish, which is great on all sorts of things. And then what's coming up now actually is my saffron crocus. So they'll send up leaves in the spring, and then they kind of die back in the summer. And then now they're coming up once again. And about mid-October, they will actually flower. And if you go to the next one, you can see the size. That's a pair of tweezers, and I plucked the stamens off of them. And next slide, or there you can see the fresh stamens laid out on paper towel to dry. And when they're dry, that's what's in the little mason jar on the right is the saffron.
Wow. Somehow I never got it that's where saffron came from. That's what that actually is.
Yeah, I don't think we could grow that around here.
Yeah.
It's just a crocus.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's a very pricey thing you're growing there. You could sell that.
Yeah. How many
very pricey
does it take to produce that volume that you have there?
What did I get? Maybe 50. I think I have 100 bulbs planted. I don't remember how many came up and how many I've harvested so far, but you figure 3 per flower. So it's a lot. That's why it's so expensive.
Yeah, so Sonia, we got to start doing some saffron. That could be our
how long do the
money
bulbs
business
live?
Yeah, so I was going to ask, do you have to replant them every year? Do they come up every year?
No, they come up every year, and the bulb actually gets little. It like divides also, so you get more new ones.
But do they fade away? Like like tulips, usually you get a good 1 or 2 good years out of it, then they fade out, or they like to have daffodils that come back pretty strong.
This is my 4th year.
Okay,
growing it, and they're still doing fine. I do have problems with the chipmunks.
Yeah.
They dig them up.
Yes.
And yeah.
Well, that was really neat.
And I think, is that my last? I think that's my last.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Very nice.
Very good.
Very nice.
Well, everyone, so now's the time to shimmy in place. So that's going to be like a 1-minute time to stand up and walk around and stretch our limbs. It's tough. It's tough on a body to sit for too long. So.
Okay, I'm going to shimmy.
You're finished with the sound.
Hey, Dorothy, if you're there, there's a question for you in the chat. Can you see that on your iPad?
Yeah, I can't find the chat.
It's Sonia is asking, where'd you buy that particular variety of crocus?
Okay, it's the saffron crocus, and you have to be sure you get saffron crocus. I can't remember who I bought it from, but I think is it Hudson Valley is selling them. Hudson Valley Seeds is selling them this year.
When since that you harvest them in October, when do you plant them in the fall, like a typical spring bulb?
They do get planted in the fall. Yes, they actually arrive around now, and then they get planted right in the ground now.
Okay.
I'm looking up Sheepers bulbs. That's a. I'm going to see if they carry them there, but I'm sure they do because they carry.
Hang on. My husband's getting I just actually got some more bulbs. So I'm going to look at the label. I think they came from Hudson Valley Seed.
Yes.
Hudson Valley Seed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they came from Hudson Valley Seed.
I mean,
And
I'm
they're
sure
called-
a lot of different places have them, but here, let's see.
Can anybody see?
Focus it on the camera, yeah.
Yeah, can you see this?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
bring it in a little closer.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're called saffron something crocus, autumn crocus.
Saffron autumn crocus.
Autumn
But they don't have to say autumn, but that's their saffron crocus.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
And you have to be sure it's a saffron crocus because the other crocuses are poisonous.
Oh my.
So it's real important to be sure you have a saffron crocus.
Thanks for that warning.
So if you get one of the other ones, the other kinds of crocuses you might croak?
Yes.
Maybe that's why they call it that.
I wonder if that's just like a Latinization of the word croak, the crocus. Sorry.
Yeah,
Why don't we go to the
good.
announcements next? So while I can read through these, so we've decided that we won't have any more meetings this spring. I'm sorry, this autumn. So the next one will be in spring of 2025. Just one thing though, if we find some interesting topic that we think gardeners might be interested of in the middle of January, we might call everyone out of hibernation. So just be ready for that alternative. Our pollinator pathway, that's Sally. Sally, do you want to tell everyone about this? Sally is maybe still shimmying, so I will go ahead with the details. We always meet the second Tuesday of the month at Mountain Lake Park, and we usually start at 8 a.m. And we've been removing invasive plants, and you see the fourth bullet on the list there. On Monday, October 14th, we'll be actually planting some pollinator-friendly natives. Haven't exactly decided what we're going to plant there yet. We're working with Orange Environment on that. Then also our pollinator pathway committee is hosting somebody from Partners for Climate Action. There's another project out called the Hudson Valley Pollinator Action Guide. They've got a great website and lots of great materials about getting local plant types for the Hudson Valley region. I'll try to find a link for that and put it in. And then Pam Goldman will be having an event at the library, and that's not Thursday, November 14th. Oh, is it Thursday, November 14th? Okay, so one is October 14th and the other is November 14th.
Right.
And so for simple steps for making your garden a winter haven for birds and pollinators. Pam Goldman always does really great presentations, so if you can join us for that, please do.
Okay.
Is there any other announcements that people would like to make?
I have a question. Oh, no, this is more question and answer. So.
Okay, so let's go on to question and answers then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think we should start with the one that's posted here, and then Mark can put his in. So go ahead. Christy, what's your question?
Okay, so my son-in-law grew some San Marzano tomatoes, and the plant was doing really well, and then all of a sudden it just went south. And so he pulled everything off and he pulled the plants out. Based on what I saw, Dorothy, on your table there, he can just leave these out and they will ripen okay?
I have always pulled them off when there's a little bit of red on them somewhere.
Okay.
He could try it and see how they do. If not, he can fry them up.
Well, that's true.
What
What do you
about
think, Sarah?
It's right. If it depends on how green they are. If they get, exactly, just begin to ripen, it's better. But
Yeah,
at the end of the year, I pull off whatever there is, and you can always try the paper bag trick.
that was my question. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or buy a tomato that's ripe and throw it in with the rest of it, because they'll pass off. They'll or a ripe apple. They produce ethylene and that ripens the
Right.
fruit.
Okay. All right. And just in a bag anywhere or in the
Yeah, brown paper bag where you don't
Okay.
forget it. That's always my problem. I forget, and then
Yeah, just check it,
And then
because once
bleh.
they start going, they could rot pretty quick.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. So your question, should we go back to everybody? Looking at everyone?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, mine will be the last. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta stop sharing. Stop sharing. There we go.
My question was just general, like when is everyone's garden? When is everyone putting their garden to bed, or has everyone already put their garden to bed?
I do it. Well, we haven't harvested the sweet potatoes, and the winter squash have not been growing well at all. I've still got tomatoes ripening this week. Whenever there's a hard frost is when I give up.
Mhm.
I mean,
Okay.
we're not working on it as much now. We're pulling stuff up as we go, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's a good, when you know it's really going to be serious winter, which shouldn't be for a while. So if you still have stuff coming up, then take it as long as you can.
it really has changed, because I can remember for years in September we'd get like a hard frost that would destroy half of what you had there, and then it get warm again. We'd have the Indian summer. The basil doesn't taste good now, but the basil hasn't even died yet.
Yeah, I still have
Yeah.
business.
I still got tomatoes, not many,
Yeah.
but I still got some stragglers on some of
I've
them.
got
there-
cherry tomatoes, and my beets got really big this year. I was really thrilled, and my Swiss chard still looks good. So
There might be
So-
some Hurricane Helene refugees coming this way who want to harvest some of those things for you. So
yeah, good
Well,
point.
Christy, Swiss charts, green stuff like that, like the cool weather.
Yeah,
yeah, it'll
yeah.
grow away until
Yeah. Right. Swiss
like
charts,
November,
spinach,
maybe?
kale, they
yeah,
prefer
it'll go
that.
into like Iceland, ice
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Beets,
Yeah,
root
even my
vegetables are fine.
strawberries, my strawberries, I think they're ever bearing or whatever, but they're still, not
Yeah.
as many, but I'm still getting blossoms and I'm still getting berries. So it's amazing to me. And they're in those deck boxes,
Oh, sorry, Christy. Could you do me one? Could you bring up my last slide again?
Sure.
'Cause now Sonia's on the call, so maybe she could tell Sally what that thing was.
Hang on, let me get back.
The plant.
No, that's
that
not the one I
the Sonia that we know?
want. The Sonia we know and love.
Yeah. That we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you pull that up. You can make a little log.
in
Sorry, like
in Windows, it's Shift F5 to open that thing, but you're on an Apple, so go make applesauce.
Sorry, I don't know quite what to do for you.
Well, you can.
It's large on my screen. I don't know what you're seeing.
I just see a little slide. So Sonia, maybe you see that little stuff hanging over right above the zucchini. That Sally was curious what that was.
We're seeing your speaker's notes, Christy.
Are
Oh,
you? Well, that's no good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Where is the zucchini?
Oh wait, wait.
Yeah.
On the bottom, see that thing.
Those giant leaves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So see that little cute little vining thing above it, like the tiny little pretty.
Oh,
spilling over the top of the wooden box.
that's creeping time. We should get more of those because they
Oh.
survive very well in there, and they're deer resistant. In fact, we should put a lot of herbs in there because they're Mediterranean and we don't have to keep watering like crazy to
Oh,
keep
that's a good
alive.
point.
Yeah.
So creeping times.
Creeping
So,
time, yeah, I got
Thank you, Chad.
no problem.
got it from
And
the
Sonia.
no problem, you're welcome. I got it from the little garden center in Greenwood Lake.
Okay.
I have a question for all of you. How many of you have a fence around your garden, or who doesn't have a fence?
I have a fence.
You
A
do?
Big fence.
We have a fence.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it in the picture.
Now, we have fenced against deer and groundhogs. It's
Right. Squirrels and chipmunks are impossible to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a fence in the community garden, but it's not it's not woodchuck proof, and it looks like we have one in there, and unfortunately, the person who's supposed to be helping us take care of it is kind of not doing it, so things are getting eaten. But it is what it is. What are you gonna do? We have a lot of problems. We have a lot of damage with the chipmunks and voles. Chipmunks, those
voles are another horror.
yeah.
Voles.
Moles with a V.
VOLES.
Yeah, they ate our sweet potatoes one year.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of problems with some of our trees outside of the garden proper, and we've hung balls that are soaked in coyote urine from them. So that might work inside of a garden as well.
Okay, question, where do you get coyote urine?
Like a sports shop.
Oh, okay. I thought you were raising coyote just for this
No.
purpose, you know?
Were you having problem with the deer into your fruit trees? Is that what it was, or the squirrels?
Both.
We have fruit trees fenced and non-fenced, and the non-fenced fruit trees are just, you see the deer out there standing on their back feet and they nibble down everything.
Yeah.
But the party's over if they just have to try it.
Well, folks, we're coming up on 8:30 now. Does anyone have any final closing questions for the year?
Nope, I'm good.
Thank you all. A wonderful season.
Thank you.
These all get posted on the internet. We want to thank everyone who participated throughout the years. And it was...
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Happy fall.
Happy gardening. Happy harvesting.
Yep.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.